Hey y'all, welcome to this week's CIOPCC Top 10 list. Now, if you remember, yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. I mean, it was just yesterday. Of course, whether you remember or not probably depends on how you celebrated. And for St. Patrick's Day, I thought we'd do a top 10 list related to it somehow. First, I thought, well, let's do top 10 Irish action figures. But the problem with that is it gets a little fuzzy. I mean, sure, Captain America, Daredevil, they're out there. Banshee. But I thought instead, let's do something weird like green action figure characters. You know, and I'm not talking Green Arrow and Green Lantern, not stuff like that. No, I'm talking about characters who are actually green. I have no other choice but to be green. And actually, once I started thinking about it, there are an awful lot of them. When you get into various Marvel superheroes and DC superheroes, and especially aliens and monsters, there's a lot of green characters. I'm going to start at number 10 with the Horror of Party Beach. This figure represents a guy in a rubber suit from a really bad 1950s horror movie, Horror of Party Beach. And obviously, he was a ripoff of the creature from the Black Lagoon. But we don't get enough of these really cool, goofy outfit monsters from the 50s and 60s anymore. If somebody would do these in 6 scale, I'd be all over them. If NECA would like to do them in the 7-inch scale in their Ultimate line, I would be all over those too. Be more than happy to pick them up. Number 10, Horror of Party Beach. Number 9 is going to be the only lady on the list. No, it is not Gamora, although that's not a bad guess. Instead, that's going to be Vina, the Orion slave girl from Star Trek. Now, this is from Art Asylum. If we ever get a better one, it's probably only going to happen if Exo-6 decides to do one. And I don't think she's probably very high on their list, sadly. The number 8 character, though, is probably a better chance we might get a Gorn at some point from Exo-6. This is the one from Art Asylum, the best version we've gotten to date. And, of course, when you get these sort of lizard-like, dragon-like characters, they're going to show up on this list of green characters. He won't be the last one. Number 7 is from Star Wars, and I almost forgot about him, even though he's like an extremely well-known Star Wars character everyone loves, and I have a dozen of him. But I almost forgot about Yoda. When you think Yoda, you don't really think about how green he is, but he is definitely green. And here we have the most green version. This, I think, is the Sideshow 6-scale version. Sometimes he came out a little darker, maybe a little browner. This time he is definitely green. So Yoda gets number 7. Another one of those dragon-like characters that would be in this list. Comes out of the Masters of the Universe Classics. It's going to be number 6. And the Masters of the Universe Classics loved green. They used it a lot. Well, Masters of the Universe used it a lot with their characters. So there's no shortage. As you can see right here on the corner, looking across the line there is no shortage of green characters. But I am going with Granomir, this big green Granomir. They also did him in red as my number 6 version. This is an excellent example of how fantastic this series was. It's a beautiful figure. And he fits in nicely scale-wise with the rest of them. And number 5 is one of those characters that we sometimes forget about. I have probably a dozen of him too. NECA did the Vest version, and that's who's coming in at number 5, Slimer. This version they did has not been topped. It's not by Hasbro or Mattel, and there are many attempts. Sculpt is terrific. The paintwork is fantastic. And I love the use of the translucent plastic base, which is much sturdier than most and much better looking than like a black or a clear version. The green slime. So he gets number 5. Number 4 and number 3 are going to be over in the Marvel section. And no, neither one of them is the Green Goblin. Another good guess. But like I said, there's plenty of green characters out there. No, number 4 is the Hulk. Character you definitely can't miss and is definitely green. At least this version. Of course, we got red versions too, but these are the Hot Toys 6-scale version. The one on the left is the one I'm putting on the list here in the number 4 spot. Number 3 is another Marvel character. Yes, kids, once upon a time, Build-A-Figures were Build-A-Figures. And this Fin Fang Foom is a Build-A-Figure from Toy Biz when they were doing their Marvel figures. Amazing figure, and not a character we're probably ever going to get again. It's certainly not in this scale. Fin Fang Foom gets number 3. Number 2 you knew was going to be, there has to be a Creature from the Black Lagoon on the list. I love Creature from the Black Lagoon. But if we're talking green, NECA's version is kind of a very dark green with a subtle wash. Let's instead, for the number 2, pick the Mondo version, which has a little more variation in the color and definitely shows off that green in the face and head. Mondo 6 scale is the best 6 scale version we've gotten so far. Although overall I like the NECA version the best. But who's going to be number 1? Is it Shrek? Nope. Is it the Martian Manhunter? Nope. You can tell there really are a lot of green characters out there. Only one green character has sung a song about how it's not easy being green. That would be Kermit the Frog, and he's getting number 1. And then one that's getting number 1, we've gotten lots of versions, is the Palisades Indiana Jones crossover there in back with the Golden Gonzo. It's a great figure. Sure, they gave us the one there playing the banjo. They gave us plenty of variants. Here he is just all by himself normal. Here he is as a pirate, Captain Smollett. He had plenty of different versions, but this one over here, the Palisades Indiana Jones, is the one getting my number 1 green action figure award. So those are my top 10. Let me know what your top 10 are. And until Wednesday when we do another favorite collection video, have a great week.